thinking about all the cars that were all trapped in the traffic yesterday. We hear about 280 and all these major roads and major backups and whatnot. And I think about the wildfires out in California that unfortunately are claiming, it seems like, more and more lives every day. The perspective that you get in natural disasters and things like we saw here that are provided by drones, I think, are just remarkable. And it's just incredible the way that it's used from the commercial perspective. But what about when it comes to people that personally own drones? Personal, just to kind of fly them for fun. I have a guest on the Miller Lite Jersey Central Newsmaker Hotline who works with the Consumer Technology Association and talks about advocacy and drone regulations and things. And should you give a drone as a holiday gift? Is it a good idea or not? Let's welcome in Bronwyn Flores this morning to WCTC. Bronwyn, good morning. It's Bert from WCTC Radio. How are you?
Hey, good morning. I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm good. Thanks for getting up nice and early. Listen, it was a tough day in New Jersey here yesterday. We had some snow move through. It was in the afternoon rush hour. There was cars and gridlock and pandemonium, and it was just crazy. I think about when we have events like this, the very unique perspective that you get, like overhead views that come from flying drones. And just in that perspective, Bronwyn, I think drones have really been a game changer. And I mentioned the disasters in California, too. Drones have really kind of taken surveillance of natural disasters and things to another level, haven't they?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can see them certainly from the commercial side and from the consumer side. There are some really high-end new ones that are just hitting the market that have these incredible photography, filming capabilities. So just if you're sort of your average hobbyist, you can really take your interest to the next level, even enter some of this film stuff into a film festival if you wanted to.
Yeah, that's very cool. I have one, but I just have a bad habit of flying it into the ground for some reason. I just have to get a little bit better at flying it. But they've really come a long way, haven't they, in terms of technology and capability? Even for the consumer level, they've really come a long way, haven't they?
Yeah. So the specific one I was mentioning there is the DJI Mavic 2. That's their newest in their line. I'm sure as someone who has a drone, you're familiar with that brand. And this is sort of their next level, even that much better 4K UHD quality videos. Some other features that we're starting to see are really the sort of small but powerful drones that fold up. They can fit in the palm of your hand. They can follow you. They've got facial recognition, voice activation. You can say something as simple as, take a selfie, and it'll take a selfie of you as it's sort of trailing behind you. So that is from a company called Unique. They've got a drone called the Mantis Q that's able to sort of follow you around like that. Another cool, interesting and useful feature of a drone, the Lily Next Gen drone is the only one on the market that has a loss protection plan. So if it happens to fly away from you and you get a new one this holiday season, they will replace it for you.
It flies away? I thought, doesn't it get to a certain range where it just kind of automatically comes back, or no?
Well, it's the hope that never happens. But should something go wrong, these are great pieces of technology, and you would never want to lose it. But yeah, they both of these feature what they are calling Follow Me technology. It's just a different setting you can put on if you want it to kind of just stay with you to monitor what you're doing, take footage of you rather than you having to be in control the whole time. So in that instance, it should not be flying away from you. But, just in case.
Yeah. Is it kind of like, Bronwyn, is it kind of like learning to fly a plane, that the more hours you put into learning it and getting better at it, the more level of expertise, I guess, you take on when it comes to drones? The more you do it, the easier it becomes, right?
Oh, absolutely. And there's all these new features coming out, too. So you think you're starting to master in that, and then they sort of take it up to the next level. Good thing that you mentioned that. They're actually these sky view goggles. So if you want to pretend like you're sort of in the pilot seat rather than just being you and the controller and you're watching your drone, you can get these fully immersive. They almost look like VR goggles to put on, and you see what the drone sees. So that's really making you feel like you're in the pilot experience.
I like the technology, Bronwyn. I think it's fun. I think drones, like I said, even just in terms of surveying natural disasters, you kind of take out the risk of risking flying someone over a plane or whatever, and just sort of taking the human element out and making it safer. How do we get drone owners, Bronwyn, to be more responsible? Because we hear about people that are like the drone is flying, it's bothering people. People are throwing
Right.
things at the drone, and you have people that sometimes will confront one another because they don't like the way someone is flying a drone. How do we get drone operators and owners to just kind of be a little bit more responsible and a little more aware and more respectful, I guess, is what I'm looking for. I'm not attacking all drone owners because I know a lot of them are good at it and a lot of them do it professionally. But how do you get the average consumer to just kind of understand what it takes to be a responsible drone owner and operator?
Yeah, that's a good question. I'm glad you brought that up. So actually, this holiday season, we're predicting that about 1.5 million new drones will be sold. So that means that many more new, unexperienced drone operators will be out there playing with their new flying presence. So the first thing we recommend as soon as you unwrap your new gift is to register it with the Federal Aviation Administration.
Yeah.
So
Oh, yeah.
that's the FAA, the part of the government in charge of drones. That's rule number one. From there, the safety tips, the guidelines, are kind of no-brainers. Respect other people's privacies. Keep your drone within line of sight, so be sure you can see it at all times, and never fly near any aircraft. So kind of just average no-brainer ones. We would certainly hope that all new people receiving a drone this holiday season can follow those simple guidelines.
I hope so. I was in a hot air balloon in July, and I looked down, and there was a drone flying underneath us. You should have saw this pilot lose his mind when we were in that hot air balloon because somebody was actually flying a drone underneath us. And where we are in New Jersey, Bronwyn, the president spends most of his summer weekends in this same county where we do our radio show from, and there's all kinds of restrictions and airspace protections and whatnot. For people that fly professional drones, it only climbs so high in the sky. Does the FAA or does somebody maintain control of your drone remotely that restricts where it can actually fly? Have you ever heard of that before?
No, they won't. You mean like, if you reach the side, they'll kind of knock it down. That doesn't exist.
It doesn't. Okay.
But one of the safety guidelines is actually no higher than 400 feet.
Okay.
So I'm glad you brought up. That's another one. There are, as you mentioned, in New Jersey, and here I'm in the nation's capital as well. There are other airspace restrictions. I'm very close to, large critical infrastructure, airports, so that kind of limits. If you are concerned for your New Jersey listeners or for anyone out there, on the FAA website, so that's faa.gov/UAS, they'll outline those specific restrictions if you're worried and don't want to land yourself in any trouble. I highly recommend checking out that website.
Yeah, you're right. So the bottom line is, as long as it's used safely and responsibly, drones still make terrific gifts, and they will for years to come, right?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
All right, good. Bronwyn Flores, thank you for the time this morning. Have a great Thanksgiving, and I don't know, if I get this drone thing to work, maybe I'll do a video. It's very good as the camera zooms into the ground. That's like my specialty when it comes to filming. So
there's a whole YouTube playlist of those
crash videos. All right, I should submit then. Mine. That's good. Bronwyn, thank you. Have a great weekend. Thanks for the information. All right.